crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, RoadtoRoota.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Happy 9/11? What are you supposed to say? Welcome to 9/11. 9/11's a big day. 9/11's been a big day in American history for the last 20 years. 9/11 was a crime that they should have never gotten away with it. 9/11 was an inside job. Don't tell YouTube I said that. We will be going over the RoadtoRoota and 9/11. Amazing. It's not even coincidences. It's in your face type of information that I will get to in a second. I do have to dance around YouTube rules because of censorship, but that's okay. But first, and most important, Paige is giving away some stuff just for signing up for her Instagram channel, our Instagram channel, on the RoadtoRoota, on .the.RoadtoRoota Instagram. We're giving away RoadtoRoota stuff. So she just posted this in the middle of the night. She's working in the middle of the night. You got to love that. Giveaway. She's so much better at the graphics than I am. To celebrate, she just hit 1,000 people who are following her. You got to follow Paige. My God. Go to Instagram on .the.RoadtoRoota. But here's the giveaway and another reason to join. She is giving away 100 Theta and 100 Theta fuel loaded onto a paper wallet and sent directly to your doorstep. Bix's Private Road exclusive article explaining how to buy, store, and stake Theta. So you don't have to be a Private Road member to win that one. And that's a big one. You got to get your Theta, first of all. It's like investing in the internet in 1990. And then number 3, a black Bix Weir hat. Not this one, but one exactly like it that's new. And they come pre-distressed, by the way. So you're not getting an old beat up one. This is the coolness. This is just how cool we are on the RoadtoRoota. And that's what she's giving away. And of course, Paige has all kinds of rules that you got to follow. 1, follow at on.the.RoadtoRoota on Instagram. If you follow Paige, you are eligible. That's all you got to do. Like the post. That's easy. Tag 2 friends in the comments section of this post. There you go. I don't know how she tracks this, but she can. And you can get you will be notified by Paige. I don't know how she's going to notify you. Optional, share this post to your story and receive 5 bonus entries. Nice. Wow. Dude, she's giving away the farm. Giveaway ends September 16th. So that's what, 4 days. Winner will be randomly selected and announced on September 17th. Winner will be tagged in the comments section of this post on your story. Winner has 24 hours to respond. So you got to get on Instagram. You're going to get free stuff. And you're going to help out Paige. Eligibility, she went through all the laws of what you can give away for free and the value. And you're not eligible if you're not 18, blah, 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 blah. I said, do we really have to put that? She says, yes, Bix, we have to put that. I said, okay, go for it. Anyway, on the RoadtoRoota. That's Paige. She's on fire. Speaking of on fire, Michelle Whitedove's next report is posted tomorrow. I think on Patreon you can already get it. But tomorrow on our website, michellewhitedove.com, it's $99. It is a monster report about cryptos, about everything you can imagine. And it's not just cryptos. I love the picture here for the report. Oh, by the way, Bix Weir has gone knee deep in understanding the pyramids, and I'm this close to fully understanding what the pyramids were, what they're all about, why they're still important, and how important they are in our future. Amazing stuff, but I love that. Don't forget, get the Michelle Whitedove report. It's tomorrow, September 12th. It's released on her website. I think it's already released on Patreon. If you're a Patreon follower, go over to her Patreon channel and see how you can get it there. But tomorrow you can buy it right off it's a big, long PDF. You can buy it right off the website. What I do with PDFs is I put them on my phone app reader. So you can actually listen to it, which I'm tired of reading. So I'll download a PDF onto my app reader. That reader is called, because everybody asks me, what reader do you use? Mine is called Natural Reader. It's an app you can download on your smartphone. Natural Reader. It can read web pages. Basically, if you don't want to do any more reading, just put your headset in and boom, you're off to the races. But again, Michelle White Dove, amazing human being and amazing psychic. Absolutely buy this report. 2021 and beyond prediction. All right, now here's where we're getting into the good stuff today. First of all, I posted a Jenny Moonstone reading this morning on the Road to Roota on the public road. This was posted to the private road members back in July, and it's called The Future of the Road to Roota. Go to RoadtoRoota YouTube channel and look for it. The Future on the Road to Roota. Outstanding discussion about what's going on behind the scenes with Q, with the transition, with a whole lot of stuff. And I've got like 8 or 9 Jenny Moonstone videos now up on every topic you can imagine. A lot of my research into the Road to Roota, into the Grand Canyon, and other spots, as well as you name it, we talk about it. It's a huge hit on the Road to Roota, by the way. And also go to jennymoonstone.com and sign up for a reading if you can get it. She's been booked. It's great. I'm glad that she's seeing a lot of people and helping a lot of people. She does. She helps so many people. I get so many emails saying, oh my God, I love my reading with Jenny. So go check that out as well. All right, here's what we want to get into. 9/11 and Road to Roota. Now, this is not anything that YouTube should censor. It's all on the internet, right? And it comes from the Federal Reserve Bank. Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. In 2007, on January 1st, I was there. I was hungover. I was on their website doing research for my friends at GATA. And voila, I found the Road to Roota comic books, Wishes and Rainbows, and the Teacher's Guide, which is Road to Roota. That's where the name came from. And it developed. Roota is a programming term. It's also symbolic of a human being, Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan, again, wrote the first computer programs to rig the markets back in the early 1970s and continues to this day. He doesn't. I don't think he controls the markets anymore. He might have programmed in a back door. You can click a mouse and destroy everything, but I don't think so. Instead, he invented something new, and I talk about that in the Jenny Moonstone reading. Anyway, look what Roota wrote in the sand. Now, first of all, this is the 1981 comic book from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. And this comic book's all about the need for gold, a gold-backed system. And I know it sounds strange coming from the Fed, but that's exactly what it is. Read my analysis at RoadtoRoota.com. Look what Roota was writing in the sand. This equation is it's an economic formula called On the Road to the Golden Age. Back in the 1960s, they were figuring out how do we get back onto a gold standard because the London gold pool was failing, and they're like, what are we going to do? And they came up with it. There's an economic formula that says the best way to go back onto a gold standard, and we're living it right now, the best way to go back on a gold standard is to print as much money as possible, soaking up all the benefits, build roads, bridges, military, secret space force. Don't tell anybody how much money you're printing, and basically print money to infinity, destroy the whole system, and then you'll be forced to go back onto a gold standard. That's what Roota wrote in the sand. There's all the equation. There's the final double underline conclusion is infinity. You print infinity money, which we are doing. Talk to Catherine Austin Fitz. They're just scratching the surface on that. There is no limit to the amount of money being printed right now. Anyway, that was the plan all along. The Fed wrote it in a comic book. And then voila, on January 1st, 2007, right before the 2008 crash, they changed it. They said, we can't do this forever. Look what happened on 9/11. The bad guys did this horrific thing. And oh, by the way, on 9/11, 2008 is when the economic system crashed. Now, is this conspiracy theory? No, they wrote it right in the sand. Look at right there, 11 plus 9, or 9/11, and the crescent moon, Islamic crescent moon in the flower. No, it wasn't 19 hijackers that brought down the World Trade Center. I hope not. It wasn't 19 hijackers. And if you go to RoadtoRoota.com in the resources section, there's plenty of papers, and I'll show you in a second about who actually did it, how they did it, why they didn't all. And yes, of course, it dealt with gold and silver. It was part of it, but just part of it. All right, so absolutely 100% 9/11 and the Road to Ruta are in conjunction. Also, 9/11/2019 is when the repo implosion happened, and then the bailouts, it went to 10% on the Monday after. We could be in for something like that today, and coming Monday, Tuesday of next week, we're going to see the ramifications of a 9/11 event, financial event behind the scenes. We'll find out soon enough, right? All right. So again, go to the education resources section, which is right here on the left side of the webpage. Click on resources. It'll take you right to this page. I put as the first article, 9/11 gold, silver. This is a research paper on the metals held in the vaults below World Trade Center 4. This picture always freaks everybody out. They're like, "Oh my God, how could a firefighter be in the vault, with the oxygen mask on his back, be in the vault at the same time that 9/11 was, the buildings were coming down, 1 and 2 were coming down." I get that all the time. I think this is actually a picture from like a month later. They didn't know how much toxic gases, so they had to have masks on. But this is World Trade Center 4, where the COMEX warehouses. Look at all that silver they have. So if you think no silver is in the COMEX warehouses, at least on 9/11/2001, it looks like they had a lot of silver. That's not as much as they say they have, but there you go. There's your proof that it was PBS put that picture out back in the day. Again, go to the resources tab, but also in the resources tab, if you scroll down, there's a whole bunch of great stuff. But if you want to learn about 9/11, it's right here. Collateral damage, U.S. covert operations and the terrorist attacks on 9/11. Number 1, number 2, and then number 3 is the September 11th Commission. September 11th Commission report revised December 2008. It's all the information is there. I'm not going to talk about it because they'll kick me off YouTube. So go do your own research, absolutely. But I do want to talk about this. Right after the Road to Ruta comic books were revised with 9/11 in them, Senator Kanjorski, we had the crash of 2008. It happened in September. The week of September 11th is when the crash happened. Then Hank Paulson had to go to Congress. Here's the important thing about it. Representative Paul Kanjorski came on, and this is in 2009, January 2009. So a couple months after, saying he got a call on C-SPAN and with a pissed off American saying, "What the hell are you doing bailing out these banks?" Now this is going on right now again. So this is so relevant to what's happening right now. Listen to what Kanjorski says about the need for bailing out banks. And it's going to upset you, but it's time to be upset. Listen to it.
Absolutely no. Nobody is accounting for what they're spending. Yeah. You got people and families out here in the United States that are struggling. I just paid $600 worth of utility bills in 1 week.
Yes.
All right? I haven't got enough money to feed my family, but I make too much to get food stamps. I don't even make $10 an hour.
Right.
Now, if you took that money and subdivided it between the taxpayers in this country, we would stimulate the economy. You know why? Because we'd go out and pay off bills, pay off tax debts, create jobs, and buy stuff that we need.
Caller.
That's how you stimulate the economy. I'll take my answer off the phone.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I love the rant. And it's true. Think about it. What are we getting? What are they giving out? $600, $800, whatever it is, and all the loans and all that. The bankers are getting, I think it's up to $10 trillion now. Shocking. Back then, they had to go to Congress. Why don't they have to go to Congress now? Listen to what he says.
Okay. And I understand that frustration. Quite frankly, I'm equally frustrated as you are. I'm not necessarily in your particular experience or circumstance to be that frustrated by, but I'm frustrated too. But it's because of the misconceptions out there that things were done that are misunderstood. We did not give the $700 billion for the purpose lending money. That was never in the program. It was misconstrued initially and put together with the suggestion by the Secretary of Treasury that we would be buying what we called dirty assets.
Well, hang on a second. Was that a misconception or was that a lie? They never said, we're going to buy the dirty assets that the banks hold on their books. It wasn't like they were dirty all of a sudden. They were dirty all the way up to after this point. So the banks had dirty assets on their books that the Fed was bailing them out with. They're doing the exact same thing right now in the repo markets, in the mortgage-backed security markets, in all the markets. The markets are rehypothecating, meaning multiple owners of the assets. Oh my God, this makes me so angry. He's saying, oh, you don't understand. And then he literally tells you what happened.
Defective mortgages and securities that were held in these banks, that the government would find a way to create a market, buy them in, take them off the balance sheets of the banks so that the banks could continue to function normally.
Their normal functioning is to rip off the people and require that you bail them out. Do you think they stopped that process after this bailout? I'm going to show you something that's just going to blow your mind after this interview.
Did you support that?
I supported that, but also part of the bill, we gave the jurisdiction and authority to the Secretary of Treasury to make investments in banks. He had very wide authority because, quite frankly, we're not the experts on the Hill as to how to solve this problem.
Bingo. Congress is not the experts, but they're bought and paid for by the experts. They're bought and paid for by the banking cabal.
And the problem is a multifaceted problem, so we gave great flexibility to the Secretary of Treasury to act.
So what would you say, though, then, to somebody who says Paul Kanjorski is supporting Wall Street but not Main Street with this latest $825 billion package now moving through the House?
They are right to this extent. Why did we do that? We did that because the Secretary... Look, I was there when the Secretary and the Chairman of the Federal Reserve came those days and talked with members of Congress about what was going on. It was about September 15th.
September 15th. What happened was the week of September 11th is when everything blew up.
Here's the facts, and we don't even talk about these things. On Thursday at about 11 o'clock in the morning, the Federal Reserve noticed a tremendous drawdown of money market accounts in the United States to the tune of $550 billion was being drawn out in a matter of an hour or two. The Treasury opened up its window to help. They pumped $105 billion in the system and quickly realized that they could not stem the tide. We were having an electronic run on the banks. They decided to close the operation, close down the money accounts, and announce a guarantee of $250,000 per account so there wouldn't be further panic out there. And that's what actually happened. If they had not done that, their estimation was that by 2 o'clock that afternoon, $5.5 trillion would have been drawn out of the money market system of the United States, would have collapsed the entire economy of the United States, and within 24 hours, the world economy would have collapsed.
There you go. That's exactly what the bankers have done to us. They've gotten us into this position where we have to bail out their crimes. We have to bail out their crimes or you lose. Heads we win, tails you lose.
Now, we talked at that time about what would happen if that happened. It would have been the end of our economic system and our political system as we know it. And that's why, when they made the point, we've got to act and do things quickly, we did. Now, Secretary Paulson said, let's buy out these subprime mortgages. That's what he came to Congress, but he said, give us latitude and large authority to do many things as we decide necessary, and give us $700 billion to do that. Shortly after we enacted our bill with those very broad powers, the UK came out and said, no, we don't have enough money to buy toxic assets. Instead, we're going to...
Again, the toxic assets were already on the books of the banks because they were making money off fake assets. Keep that in mind.
To put our money into banks so that their equity grows and they're not bankrupt. And so the UK started that process, and that's true. It was much cheaper to put more money in banks as equity investments than to start buying their bad assets, because it became early determined that we'd probably have to spend $3 or $4 trillion of taxpayers' money to buy these bad assets. And we only had $700 billion. So Paulson made a complete switch, went in and started putting money in buying securities and reinvesting in the banks of the United States. Why? Because if you don't have a banking system, you don't have an economy. And if
you don't have a banking system, you don't have an economy. You have an economy. You just don't have the criminality. And they've got us into this place where it's going to be so disruptive, we have to keep bailing them out or things will change. Things have to change. Things are changing. Hang on tight.
Although we did that, it wasn't enough money, and as fast as we did that, the economy has been falling. And the reason last week, we're really no better off today than we were 3 months ago, because we've had a decrease in the equity positions of bank because other assets are going sour by the moment. Now, we've got to make some decisions. Do we pour more money in? To what extent that money goes in? I myself think we ought to take the time, analyze where we are, have the people understand. When you listen to a lady that just got off the telephone, she is near panic, and she doesn't think her government's acting properly or acting in her behalf. I think it's important that we start informing that lady as to what really were the facts, what happened, and get input from her.
Inform the lady of the facts. The facts are you had massive amount of toxic assets on the books of these banks. They printed up this random amount of money on purpose, completely blew up a derivative bubble beyond recognition, and then they pulled the plug so that everybody loses everything and they buy stuff up on the cheap. It's exactly what happened. If you want to tell people the facts, Paul Kanjorski, tell them the facts. Don't lie about it.
Maybe she has a better idea. We're not any geniuses in economics or finance anyhow. We're representatives of the people. We ought to take our time, but let the people know this is a very difficult struggle. Somebody threw us in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean without a life raft, and we're trying to determine what's the closest shore and whether there's any chance in the world to swim that far. We don't know.
That's where we are again, my friends. History repeats itself every 10 years with banks. So you'd think after this, and after all, Obama saying, "Oh my God, yes, the bailout," but whoa, we're gonna Dodd-Frank those banks and make sure they don't do it again, right? Right? Make sure those banks don't load up on toxic assets again. Heaven forbid. Now we got to keep an eye on them so they don't do anything wrong. What do we have today? Unprecedented stimulus is fueling an explosion of fraud, governments begin to admit. Print money, print money, print money. When you create a system based on such a fraudulent foundation, there's no way it can survive. Trump trying to recreate the same old crimes of the past banker system with, oh yes, we're going to build this economy on a piece of shit foundation. It ain't going to work, and Trump knows it. Somebody needs to pull the plug, though. Guess who was just busted again? JP Morgan Chase is looking into customer misuse of PPP loans. They, with their customer relationships, hey Joe, this PPP loan, we can get as much as you want. How much do you need? How much do you need? You give me a kickback, and then I'll get you all you need. That's exactly what happened, and they paid their buddies first. And the role the bank's own employees paid. Jamie Dimon belongs beyond in jail. Beyond in jail means crimes against humanity. Remember the bailouts? After September 11th? How much change has happened? Here's a great tracker of all the fines and penalties for the crimes that JP Morgan has committed over the last 20 years. 151 times. They got nailed with monster penalties for crimes. Nobody's gone to jail. Nobody admitted it was a crime. This is it's a violation tracker at it's called violationtracker.goodjobsfirst.org. Look at these. Financial offenses by JP. Now, this is just the amount they were fined. They stole 20 times, 100 times this amount. Penalties, $30 billion, 81 times since Since 2000, since we bailed them out last time, they changed nothing of their behavior. Competition-related offenses, 11. Consumer protection-related offenses, 15. $944 million, $1.8 billion. And look at this is since 9/11. This isn't, oh my God, we have these toxic assets. They got busted for toxic securities abuses 5 times, $13 billion. Mortgage abuses, that's you and me, $5 billion in fines. How much did they make? $100 billion. It's a cost of doing business for these assholes. I know, I was in banking for 25 years. When is it going to end, my friends? Anyway, yeah, I think what Kanjorski was talking about right here. Where did he go? I got rid of it. What Kanjorski was talking about is about to happen again. I mean, we've already given the bankers about $10 trillion in the bailouts since 9/11 of last year. And here we are 1 year later. Next week will be the anniversary of the, 10% overnight rate? Look for next week to be crazy if we make it past today. And going forward, we are going to have to decide whether or not we bail out these criminals again. If we bail them out again, 10 years from now, it's going to be 100 times worse. Just like 10 years ago, we should have taken care of it. But oh my God, it was too calamitous. This has been going on since 1913, when they created the Federal Reserve, because they found all that damn gold in the Grand Canyon. It would have destroyed the whole economic system. They said, we can't do that. Let's create the Federal Reserve and manage the process. It's been over 100 years that this process has been managed. You want to find out what happened on 9/11? Go to the educational resources part of Road to Roota. Go down to these 3 reports, the 9/11 reports. First one, this is written by the Office of Naval Intelligence, by the way. They don't say it. I figured it out, and oh, by the way, it was confirmed by someone at the ONI, which is the Office of Naval Intelligence, which is investigating all these crimes. Yamashita's gold, the Gata gold manipulation, all that stuff. This and the very spot where all this was taking place, the investigation, is where they hit the Pentagon. Read these articles. Collateral damage, U.S. covert operations and the terrorist attacks on 9/11. September 11 Commission Report, 2008. Collateral damage part 2, the subprime crisis and terrorist attacks on 9/11. It's time to wake up, people, and scream about it, because we're being screwed, and it's time for everybody to just wake up about everything. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the secrecy. We're done with this financial system. Get yourself absolutely a lot of silver in your own possession. Absolutely 1 ounce of gold if you have to have it. Absolutely cryptocurrencies in your own possession, the good ones, especially Theta, if you think we're going to survive this, which I think I have full confidence we'll get through this. It's just having the balls to say no more bailouts. These criminal bankers need to go away and be put away for their crimes of the past. You want more information about all this stuff, go to RoadtoRoota.com. Subscribe today. Hit subscribe today. You're going to get 50 Theta fuel mailed to your front door. Also, you'll get access to how to get your massive amounts of Theta in your own possession, how to start up a Theta Guardian node so that you're earning Theta fuel. Yes, people ask me, well, what's Theta fuel worth? Not much today, less than a penny. But when Netflix and YouTube and Amazon have to buy Theta fuel to use the content delivery network that they are putting together, that they have a patent on, because they're going to save money on their CDN costs, which are going through the roof. And oh, by the way, bandwidth is getting very, very, very tight now. This is a solution, and they were granted a patent because they're on the side, everybody's on the side of this happening going forward. So the government's on the side of this. The big corporations like Samsung is obviously on the side of it. Sony is an investor. Everybody's going to get on board with Theta, and you can get it by joining the private road today. And I'll teach you how to buy, store, and stake Theta tokens for your future, because I think we're headed into a high-tech future. Massive amounts of bandwidth are going to be needed for that to happen. And Theta just got the patent on exactly that, expanding the bandwidth. Anyway. Whew, I'm all riled up today. Happy 9/11. This is Bix Weir, RoadtoRoota.com. I'll talk to you later.